Hello, my name is Brian Cronin. I'm pleased to welcome you to this tutorial on the opposition paper C of the European Qualifying Examination. There are previous tutorials in this series on papers A and B. Did you follow them? This tutorial on the opposition paper is in three parts. This is the first part, Assimilation and Organization of Documents. Here is an introduction to the subject. The tutorial is based on the 2015 EQE Paper C opposition. If you don't already have a copy of this paper, please download one from the EPO website under the captions Learning and Compendium. The tutorial is in English, but if you wish, you can do your work on the French or German version. The subject of the opposition is a sports article, namely a snowboard with improved damping. This subject matter should be accessible to everyone, whether you are a winter sports enthusiast or not. Here now are some comments on the 2015 paper C. This 2015 opposition paper C, in my opinion, was a difficult one to finish in the allotted time of 5 hours, ending up with a statement of opposition above the pass level. However, this 2015 opposition paper C is a good one to practice in preparation for future papers. If you can master the 2015 paper, you will be well prepared for any future opposition paper. If this is the first opposition paper you are tackling, or if you have little previous practice, allow yourself plenty of time to master each processing step and allow time and gaps to do this. In your practice, it's important to produce a good statement of opposition before you start working on improving your efficiency to finish in time. Now, here are a few notes on materials describing the working method. You will find a summary of the working method for opposition paper C in the book EQE Comprehensive, available from www.shopmybooks.com, keying in the word patent. The same book, EQE Comprehensive, provides tips for structuring your arguments, which are particularly important for the opposition paper, and as well, it analyzes all papers of the EQE and explains how you should develop a good attitude to the EQE. In any event, we will tackle the 2015 exam using this working method. Now, how about getting started? With the opposition paper, you need an organized approach, firstly because you're faced with numerous documents. You can begin by organizing the papers in a logical fashion that we'll deal with in a few moments. A fail-safe start to the opposition paper for intaking information is, firstly, make yourself familiar with the claims to be opposed. Secondly, go to the client's letter for guidance. And thirdly, proceed with the next steps as a function of the content of the client's letter. Let's now start with organizing the papers. You should do this in any way convenient for you so you can access information efficiently. For example, separate the claims to be opposed and attach them to an extension sheet you'll keep on your desktop while you're doing the opposition paper, so the claims are always visible for you. Separate a set of drawings from the non-used language copies so you can see the relevant drawing when reading any of the documents A1 to A6. In other words, have a set of drawings that you can display as you're reading the documents. Attach the documents A2 to A6, for instance, in a file like you may have at work, say on the right-hand side, or if you prefer, in a metal clip. Attach the A1 description if you're using a file, say on the left-hand side of the file, so you keep it separate, so it's read separately. And keep the client's letter somewhere on top so it's available to you. So it's important that you should organize the papers in a way suitable for you, just so that you will avoid getting into a mess later. As I mentioned, a fail-safe way of starting reading is to begin with the claims to be opposed, so you start getting familiar with the subject from the outset. Let's now take the opposed claims and glance down through them. What we want to do is we want to look at the structure of the claims. We want to notice if they're dependent and independent claims and what are the claim dependencies. We want to look for any anomalies that we would have to deal with. We want to look for words that need interpretation, like the word for. And we need to look for the word or, which expresses an alternative. For example, alternative claim dependencies. Let's now glance through the claims together. Claim 1 then is a sports article. It's an independent claim. It comprises an elongate body and a damper. An elongate sports article, at this stage we could imagine we will encounter other types of elongate sports articles, such as a baseball bat or things like that, that will come up in the prior art. Claim 2 is a sports article according to claim 1, and this is a unidirectional snowboard, and it specifies the features of the damper. Claim 3 depends also on claim 1 only, and it's a sports article, this time a freestyle snowboard, and it specifies also the features of the damper. With claim 4, we have a sports article according to claim 1 or claim 3, so we have an alternative claim dependency. This makes it two separate claims for an analysis. So claim 4, when it depends upon claim 2, will be the unidirectional snowboard plus the damper of claim 2 and the piezoelectric material P27. And claim 4.3, when it depends upon claim 3, will cover a freestyle snowboard plus the damper of claim 3 and the piezoelectric material P27. So we'll have to deal with claim 4 as two separate claims. Claim 5 is an independent claim to a damper for frequency selective damping, which means suitable for frequency selective damping. It has a first flat piece of piezo material for sensing, which means suitable for sensing, and it has a second flat piece of piezo material for imparting damping, which means suitable for imparting damping. It also has an integrated circuit. We turn over and we get to claim 6. Claim 6 is an independent claim to the method of obtaining a sports article in which torsional modes are damped, and the method comprises several steps: providing, and selecting, and mounting. And I noticed one thing, that all of the claims involve piezoelectric material for what that's worth. So let's now that we've started becoming familiar with the claims, we'll take a look at the client's letter for guidance. So we turn to the client's letter. You are Mrs. Pauly. The opponent is Sabella Sports Industries. The opponent's representative tells us that claim 4 was added during examination, which means that we're going to have to check for compliance with Article 123 to EPC because it was added during examination. Claims 1, 2, and 5, although the wording is a little bit roundabout, are entitled to priority, and it's up to us to check the date entitlement of claims 3, 4, and 6. We know also that paragraphs 17 and 18 are non-priority disclosures, and we know that Annex turning over in the client's letter, we know that Annex 2 is a blog on the internet, and we know that it has two main dates of publication. The date of publication of the blog, 18th September 2010, and the date of the oral presentation, September 2009. The details of the oral presentation are fairly vague, but we know that Miss Udenovis is available as an expert witness to testify for the publication of Annex A2. Now, we need to follow up on the client's letter, and this is going to involve a preliminary reading of A1's description, and the purpose of the first reading of A1's description is going to be to check for non-compliance with Article 1232 in brackets for Claim 4, and to ascertain the effective dates of Claims 3, 4, and 6. So let's go through the preliminary reading together and consider the outcomes. We noted from the claims that Claim 4 alone covers piezoelectric material comprising P27. When we come to paragraph 13 and 14 of Annex 1, which is part of the priority disclosure, we notice that P27 is disclosed in the application, and we notice also that P27 was disclosed only for flat pieces, and referring to the wording of Claim 4 when it depends upon Claim 2, this claim covers a unidirectional snowboard with piezoelectric material P27 formed into at least one flat piece. That claim is based upon the priority disclosure, and Claim 4, when it depends upon Claim 2, is entitled to the priority date. On the other hand, we notice, reading through the document, that P27 is not disclosed anywhere in combination with a matrix of fibers of piezoelectric material, as is required for the subject matter of Claim 4 when it depends upon Claim 3. What we notice is that paragraph 17 describes a matrix of piezoelectric fibers, but these are only disclosed in combination with the piezoelectric material PGGB. They are not disclosed in combination with P27. So there is no disclosure of P27 in the application as filed or in the priority document, and we deduce that Claim 3 contravenes Claim 4, when it depends upon Claim 3, contravenes Article 1232 EPC, because the disclosure of that claim, Claim 4, when it depends on Claim 3, was not disclosed in the application as filed. So that gives us a little idea about the state of the art, and we will continue with paragraphs 17 and paragraph 18 for what they are worth. Paragraph 17 describes in a dispersed order, in disorder, a freestyle snowboard wherein a damper comprises a composite of piezoelectric fibers embedded in a matrix or flexible polymer resin. Claim 3, which depends upon claim 1, is fully based upon paragraph 17 of the application as filed, and therefore it's not entitled to the priority date, but it is entitled to the filing date of the application. Paragraph 18, when we get to it, seems to describe the selecting step of claim 6, which is measuring undampened and locations of peak amplitude, and we can deduce at this stage that claim 6 is based on paragraph 18 of the application as filed, and as this paragraph was not entitled to priority, claim 6 also is not entitled to priority. So reading through the description, looking for these facts, we found out a thing or two which is useful, and now it's time to look at the dates of the documents to establish the state of the art. Looking at the left of the slide, if we extract the relevant dates, publication dates and so on, of Annex A2 to A6 and illustrate these dates in date order compared to the priority dates of the opposed patent, we obtain a display something like the one which is on the right hand side there. We can see on the left hand side time is flowing upwards. A1's filing date and priority date are on the left hand side, and A2 to A6 relative to these two dates are listed on the right hand side of the diagram. So next we're going to indicate which claims are entitled to which date, which we found out from our previous reading. By indicating which claims are entitled to which date, you can visualize which documents are opposable against which claims. So by indicating that claim 3 and claim 6 are entitled to the filing date, and by indicating that claims 1, 2, 5 and claim 4, when it depends upon claim 2, are entitled to the priority date, we can read off the status of each document in relation to the opposed claims. So we'll read it off. It's in the middle of the slide. The first point I note is that A2 paragraph 11 had a publication date later than the filing date of the opposed patent. Therefore, it's not prior art, and that paragraph of A2 cannot be used. Then I noticed that the A2 blog has a publication date between the filing date and the priority date. So the A2 blog is 54.2 prior art for claim 3 and for claim 6. Next, we notice that A6 is published also between the filing date and the priority date. So A6 is 54.2 prior art against claims 3 and claims 6, whereas A6 has an earlier filing date and priority date than the opposed A1's priority date. So A6 then is 54.3 prior art for claims 1, 2, 5 and claim 4 when it depends upon claim 2. Reading down, we have the A2 presentation, the oral presentation of A2 was made before the priority date, and therefore the A2 presentation is 54.2 prior art against all claims of the opposed patent. And last but not least, the three documents A3, A4, and A5 were all published well before the opposed patent's priority date, and therefore are 54.2 prior art against all claims of A1. Now we know the legal status of the documents, we can turn to the description of A1 for a second reading. We will come back, of course, to the legal status when we are writing our answer. The main points for a second purposeful reading of the client's description at this point of time are as follows: to generally understand the claims and to generally understand what the opposed patent is all about. Number two, to look for definitions of features, because we will need to definitions of features to make our attacks and to present our attacks. And we also want to identify technical effects associated with the claim features for later use when we are setting up a problem and solution attack for lack of inventive step of a particular claim. So we need already to get the ammunition for those future lack of inventive step attacks. As you go along, you can highlight and mark up on the description the things that you note for future reference. You have to be careful that you don't highlight everything. In your statement of opposition, you have to make use of all of the information given to you, which of course includes information from the opposed patent A1 itself. So it's a good idea that we should study the A1 document to see what we can find out that is going to be useful for the opposition. It's a good idea to take a look at A1 drawings first. You should have the drawings visible as you read each document, but for this tutorial we will assume that you're looking at the drawings always first. I think it's a good idea always to look at the drawings first in any event. So here are A1's drawings. You can get a lot of information just by looking at the drawing, contemplating the drawing. Figure 1 looks very much like a standard snowboard with both of its ends turned up, and the x-axis is the longitudinal axis of the snowboard and the y-axis is the transverse axis of the snowboard. Figure 2, we see that the snowboard is bent and it's wavy, and this is illustrating or schematizing longitudinal bending of the snowboard. Figure 3 we can see is twisted. It shows torsional bending of the snowboard. When we get to figure 4, we notice that this looks like a snowboard whose core varies in thickness along the length, as in the opposed claim 1. So this is going to be an inventive snowboard, and what is reference 19 must certainly be the dampers, because there's really not much else. They must be the dampers, and we need to check in the description that they are dampers, and we need to check what is shown in figure 5, which is presumably also something to do with the dampers. So next I've noted down some points from A1's description. There again, as you read the description, you want to note down the points of interest to you, and you will have to come back to the description at different points of the processing as you're preparing your attacks and as you're developing your attacks. Let's see now. Paragraph 1 equates snowboards and skis as sports articles. A snowboard differs from a ski. Paragraphs 2, 3, 4, and 5 talk about the core, and it talks about figure 1 known snowboard. Figure 6, paragraph 6 shows or talks about a freestyle snowboard which has its nose and tail bent up. So that's a bidirectional snowboard, whereas unidirectional snowboard has only the nose bent up and the tail flat, so it can go fast downhill. Paragraphs 7 and 8 talk about chatter and unwanted oscillation modes and torsion in the snowboard. Paragraph 9 is related to claim 1 because it talks about the core varying thickness, and it states that this has the advantage or the effect that it improves ergonomics. So the effect relative to that claim is something we will for sure use later. Paragraph 10 talks about dampers. It's related to claim 1, and the effect is damping specific unwanted oscillation. Paragraph 11 talks about focused damping, where the damper is placed at a location of high mechanical stress, which reduces chatter. Then, if we go over to paragraph 12, refers to figure 4, shows a snowboard according to the invention, and it talks about damping from torsional modes, which is related, I think, to claim 2. Paragraph 13 talks about piezoelectric material, flat pieces. It talks about flat pieces is claim 3. It talks about P27, which is claim 4, and it has the definition that a monolithic platelet is a flat piece. That's a definition we will probably need. Paragraph 14 relates to claim 4 when it depends on claim 2, and we will just make a note beside that it relates to that claim. It says P27 is brittle. I'm not quite sure how important that is. Paragraph 15 talks about a damper with a plurality of flat pieces electrically connected, which is related to claim 5, which is continued in paragraph 16. The integrated circuit is claim 5, and it talks about being frequency selective, 30 to 80 hertz, improves chatter reduction. Paragraph 17 over the page talks about a matrix, and it talks about claim 3, and it says that a matrix is the same as a flexible polymer resin, which is a definition we may need, and it talks about a reduced risk of breaking. And in paragraph 16, we can equate that with claim 6, the method claim 6, and its effect of saving time. We will probably need the effect of saving time later. Now we're beginning to get a feel for the invention. We can start to break down the claims into their technical features. This is the purpose of breaking down into technical features, is to help understanding and to tabulate these features for comparison with the prior art. We will see the matrix structure later. Claim 1, if we break it down into its technical features, are sports article, elongate body, core, thickness of the core varies along the axis, a damper of piezoelectric material with an electronic component or an integrated circuit. Those are the technical features of claim 1. Now we go to claim 2. Claim 2, we can put in its priority entitlement and its dependency. The features are a unidirectional snowboard, a damper, comprising, the damper comprises piezoelectric material formed of at least one flat piece and is arranged to dampen torsional modes. Claim 3, which depends upon claim 1, is non-priority. The technical features are a freestyle snowboard with a damper which has a composite of matrix of piezoelectric fibers. Claim 4, which depends upon 2, is entitled to priority, and the technical feature of the claim is P27. Claim 4, when it depends upon claim 3, contravenes Article 1232, so its technical features may not be important, but its technical feature is also P27. Next, claim 5. Claim 5 is an independent claim entitled to priority. It's directed to a damper suitable for frequency selective damping of a sports article. It has a first flat piece of piezoelectric material, which is suitable for sensing oscillation modes. It has a second flat piece of piezoelectric material, which is suitable for imparting damping. And it has an integrated circuit, which is electrically connected to the flat pieces and is frequency selective in the range 30 to 80 hertz. So that's claim 5. It's not too difficult to break these claims down into their technical features, but it's a good exercise to help understand the claims. Claim 6 is an independent claim not entitled to priority. It's a method for obtaining a sports article in which torsion modes are damped, and it comprises the steps of providing an elongate body, having a core whose thickness varies along the length, providing a damper, or at least one damper, of piezoelectric material with an electronic component. The next action step is selecting the damper position, and this is done by measuring with the damper unmounted the amplitude of torsional mode of elongate body at several locations, and then the last step is mounting the damper at said position, at the selected position. So next we'll have a look at the layout for setting up the matrix for inputting prior art features. Here you can see the matrix. You can set it up on a double A4 sheet, possibly. On the left is a column where we list the claims, and where I've written claim 1 to claim 6, in fact, we insert all of the features of the claims, so each claim feature will have a horizontal line corresponding to it. And we can include an indication of the claim dependency and its effective date somewhere in the chart. The documents A2 to A6, which are prior art documents, each have a vertical column in correspondence with the claim features, so that we're going to compare the features of the document with the features of the claim by putting them side by side. As I said, you can set up your matrix on a double A4 sheet. You can do it by hand, or you can use lined paper. It's best to leave spacings in proportion to the claim features. It's not a good idea to have a too rigid format for your matrix where you try and fit things in. You have to have something which expands to the situation of the claims and the prior art that you're given. So next, we'll consider how to fill up the matrix. Starting with document A2, we'll enter whether or not the various claim features are present, and we'll give details of that later, and we'll do it in detail for each document and each feature. When we've done with A2, we go to A3 and we do the same thing. We compare which features of A3 correspond to the features in the claim, and we say yes or no, the features are present. So we go to the end until we've done all of the documents. We come to document A6. So what we are doing is this represents a vertical input of the prior art information, document by document, each time scanning down through the claim features. But before we go to the prior art documents and start intaking the information, I would like to make a few comments about what we have to do. So it's important not to go ahead and intake information from A2 to A6 before you have well understood the opposed invention. Therefore, you must absolutely understand the opposed invention before you go ahead. Therefore, you have to review A1's description with emphasis on understanding the claims, and you have to focus on the opposed claims until you have a really good understanding of the claims. The better you understand the claims, the easier it's going to be to locate the corresponding features in the documents A2 to A6. Note that by setting up the matrix of A1 claim features and by correlating the claim features with the description, you are basically programming your brain or your mind to be an efficient search engine, because what you're going to do is you're going to perform a search on the prior art documents to find the information you want, and the information you want are the claimed features. So let's now consider how we intake the prior art features document by document. As we said, take the documents in order A2 to A6. Read each document a first time, making notes and highlighting on the document where you notice the disclosure of a claim feature, and reading the document also where you notice a claim feature or anything of interest, and then we will read the document a second time as we are scanning down through the claim features to ascertain whether or not a claim feature is disclosed in the document. Then we will mark up the matrix whether the features are present or not. As you go along, mark and highlight other pertinent parts on the document, like advantages and so on, because you'll need to come back to them later. Before you put away document A2, make a preliminary assessment of how useful it is at this stage, and do that for each document as you go along. Make a preliminary assessment before you go to the next document. And then you keep going to the next document until you've gone through all of the documents. We can start by glancing at each document's drawings. So we'll start with A2. We have here the drawings of A2. Figure 1 looks like a graph related to varying core thickness along the length. Figure 2 shows varying thickness along the length of the snowboard or the sports board. And we notice that the two ends of the snowboard or the sports board are bent up. So we're going to assume that it's a bidirectional snowboard. We'll check that when we go to the description. Let's now turn to the description. You can make notes or highlight on A2 as you go along, as I said. A2 has two main dates, the blog against non-priority claims and the oral presentation against all claims, which needs evidence. And paragraph 11 of A2 is too late to be part of the prior art. If we now run through the document, paragraph 1 says that varied height improves turning properties. That's interesting. Paragraph 3. Paragraph 2 doesn't say much. Paragraph 3 says that we have a freestyle snowboard. The core is present but is not shown. Paragraph 4 talks about improved turning properties, and it talks again about chatter. Paragraph 5 says that the damper absorbs chapter if placed at the right spot, which is the sweet spot, and absorbs energy of periodic twisting motions. Paragraph 6, if we turn over the page, says that the sweet spot is found by repeatedly positioning the damper, and we can say that that is time consuming. So we turn over then on the next slide, paragraph 7. The dampers can be patches, and they're embedding monolithic platelets of P27. Paragraph 8, there are several monolithic platelets and electronic components embedded in a patch. Paragraph 9 doesn't say much. Paragraph 10 says skis are not snowboards, which we knew. And paragraph 11 happens to have been published after the priority date, so it's out of time, but it discloses patches with composites of piezoelectric fibers in a polymer resin. It's of interest to note features which are out of time, because it could be possible that they're used for another purpose, such as a definition, which doesn't turn out to be the case here. So that brings us to the end of A2. Once you've read it from beginning to end and highlighted it, and you've highlighted the features, you're ready to scan through A1's claims in the matrix, picking out those features of A2 that correspond to A1's claims. Let's turn to the matrix and do this. I have illustrated here claim 1, the features from A2 only. The slide format is too small to illustrate the whole matrix, so we'll do it claim by claim. As A2 blog and A2 oral presentation have different publication dates, I've indicated this at the top. And then starting with claim 1, which is entitled to priority, we see as follows. Is it a sports article in A2? Yes, it's a snowboard. Does it have an elongate body? Yes, paragraph 1, longitudinal axis, figure 2. Does it have a core? Yes, paragraph 3. Does the core thickness vary along the axis? Yes, paragraph 3. Does it have a damper? Yes, paragraph 5, 6, and 7. Does the damper have piezoelectric material? Yes, paragraph 7. And does it include an electronic component or an integrated circuit? Yes, paragraph 8. So that looks promising for lack of novelty of claim 1, but first we need to check what is the impact of Annex 2 for the other claims. So we have here claim 2 and claim 3. Claim 2 is a unidirectional snowboard. No, A2 does not have a unidirectional snowboard. It has a freestyle snowboard. Does it have a damper? Yes, paragraph 7. Does it have at least one flat piece? I put a question mark. Platelet 0, paragraph 8 is yes, it has at least one flat piece. Is it arranged to dampen torsional modes? Yes, paragraph 5. So we can see that although claim 1 is lacking novelty, claim 2 is novel over Annex 2. Claim 3, no priority. Freestyle snowboard, yes, paragraph 3. Damper, composite of matrix and piezoelectric fibers. It has a freestyle snowboard, yes. Damper made of matrix and piezo fibers, no, no, no. That is disclosed in paragraph 11 of Annex 2, but that is not part of the prior art. So we'll go then to claim 4. Claim 4 is there piezoelectric material P27? Yes, in paragraph 7 of A2. So the feature of claim 4 is also disclosed. I've noted there that we need to check back for claim 2. The piezoelectric material is also in paragraph 11, which is not prior art, and claim 2 is not disclosed in A2, which is something we could see from the matrix. I've added a comment because it's difficult looking at individual segments. Claim 4, when it depends upon claim 3, contravenes Article 1232. P27 is known, but that is not going to affect anything, and we'll go to claim 5. Let's see. It has a damper, claim 5, yes. Suitable for frequency selective damping, question mark, 5, 6, and 7 paragraphs. As a first piece of piezoelectric material, small monolithic platelets, paragraph 8. Suitable for sensing oscillation modes, I put a question mark. A second flat piece of piezoelectric material, as there are several monolithic platelets, paragraph 8, yes, that feature is there. Suitable for imparting damping, presumably. Does it have an integrated circuit? It has an electronic component. Is it connected to the flat pieces? Question mark in patch H. Is it frequency selective? No. There are several question marks in my mind as I read this document, which we'll have to sort out later. We go on to claim 6, and we're looking always with Annex A2. Method for obtaining a sports article, yes, paragraph 3. With damped torsion modes, yes, paragraph 5. Damps twisting motions. Providing an elongate body, yes. Core thickness varies with length, yes, paragraph 3. Providing a damper, yes, paragraph 5. The damper has piezo material plus electronic component, yes, piezo material, paragraph 7, and electronic component, paragraph 8. Selecting the damper position, yes, paragraph 8. Does it measure with the damper unmounted? No. Amplitude of torsional mode of elongate body at several locations? No. And mounting of the damper at selected position? Yes, implicit. So claim 6 is novel over Annex A2, at least because of the method of measuring. Now we need to make a preliminary assessment of A2 before we turn to A3. Here is our interim assessment. A2 paragraph 11 is not prior art and cannot be used. A2 oral presentation is useful for lack of novelty of claim 1. It needs evidence. A2 oral presentation or blog could be useful for lack of inventive step of claim 6 and possibly other claims, question mark. We'll have to work that out later. And then, having briefly reviewed A2 and its usefulness, we turn to A3. Here is the drawings of A3, yes, A3. Figure 1 looks as though it's like the cut-off front part of a snowboard, which is a very short snowboard. The contour lines on figure 1 seem to show areas of great mechanical stress. And the question mark is, do these areas of great mechanical stress correspond to the points 57 or 58 on figure 3? And what is figure 2? It's probably the damper. Figure 3 shows a unidirectional snowboard. 58 must be the dampers, and they are placed at the position of greatest stress. What is the position 57? Let's now read A3 to find out. Title is promising: Recent results on snowboard oscillation modes. Paragraph 1 aims to improve ergonomics and control of snowboards at higher speeds. That sounds interesting. Paragraph 2 says that chatter is not caused by longitudinal modes at frequencies of 10 to 25 Hz in snowboards, but by torsional modes at 30 to 80 Hz. That is one of the claimed ranges. Paragraph 3 says that torsional modes create regions of high mechanical stress close to the edges, see figure 1, which we guessed from figure 1. Paragraph 4 relates to a unidirectional snowboard with constant thickness, so the thickness is not variable, that's important. Paragraph 4 introduces the material P27 and the monolithic platelet in figure 2. Paragraph 5 deals with a first setup where the sensors, by iterating the location of the sensors, locations 58 of highest mechanical stress are found, figures 3 and 1. So 58 is the location of highest mechanical stress. Paragraph 6 says there is a second setup of dampers that are not frequency selective, and the basic dampers damp torsional modes when placed exactly at locations 58. Paragraph 8 says that the first setup is better if filtering only 30 to 80 Hz, which is the range we keep coming up with. Paragraph 9 says that a second setup dampers for improving control at higher speeds could be complemented by other concepts. And then we turn over the slide. Paragraph 10 says that the first setup gives an approximation technique. You measure undampened amplitude of torsion and find the position 57 of peak amplitude as shown in figure 3. So this is obviously important to the claim where we have the measurement. Locations of paragraph 10, locations of 58 of highest mechanical stress are halfway between 57 and 59. So the approximation technique gives you location 57, peak amplitude, and then the location of highest mechanical stress is halfway between them, between 57 and tip 29. Paragraph 11, dampers of the second setup are not compatible with the approximation technique, they must be placed exactly at the locations 58. And that brings us to the end of document 3. And once we've made the highlighting and the notes on the document, we're ready to take the document, to compare the document with the claim features in the matrix. So here we're back to claim 1. As mentioned, for space reasons, I split the claim features over several slides, so this doesn't look like the real matrix. On your matrix, the 6 claims make up one vertical column, and each annex document has its own column, but I just have to take these one claim and one document at a time. Then if we go to the document, we find for claim 1 and annex 3, is there a sports article? Yes, a snowboard at paragraph 1. Does it have an elongate body? That's inherent. Does it have a core? That's inherent. Does the thickness vary along the axis? No, it has constant thickness, paragraph 4. Is there a damper? Yes, basic damper 06. Does it have piezoelectric material? Yes, P27, paragraph 4, plus an electronic component or integrated circuit? Yes, dissipative electronic circuit, paragraph 6. So we go to claim 2. Does A3 have a unidirectional snowboard? Yes, paragraph 4. Does it have a damper? Yes, with piezo material? Yes, yes, P27, paragraph 4, damper, paragraph 6. Does it have at least one flat piece? Yes, monolithic platelet 4, which is flat, figure 3. Is it arranged to dampen torsional modes? Yes, paragraph 6. Note that all of claim 2 features seem to be known from A3, but claim 1 is novel over A3, so that would be a question of inventive step later. Note also that as we're going along, we're reviewing, every time we're looking at a document, we're reviewing the claim features, so we're rehearsing and repeating every time the claim features. So by the time we get to the end of document 6, the claims should be engraved in your head. Claim 3, is it a freestyle snowboard? No, unidirectional, but it can have other snowboards in paragraph 11. Does it have a damper, which is a composite of a matrix plus piezoelectric fibers? It has a damper, no. Damper, yes, paragraph 6, but no composite of matrix. Piezoelectric, but no fibers. So we'll continue with claim 4, which is split in 2, as we've seen. Piezoelectric material, P27, is it in A3? Yes, paragraph 4. And that applies also for claim 4.3, although that is of lesser importance. So with feature 3, we have the features of claim we have for claim 4.2. Yes, the features of that claim are known, but obviously you've got to go back to claim 2 to see what's going on. We go now to claim 5 with document A3. Damper, yes, paragraph 6. Suitable for frequency selective damping of sports article. And I've put not frequency selective damping, paragraph 6. The snowboard is a sports article. First flat piece of piezoelectric material, yes. Monolithic platelet of P27, paragraph 4. Suitable for sensing oscillation modes, paragraph 6, question mark. Second flat piece of piezoelectric material, yes. Coupling, paragraph 4, because there are more than one pieces of piezoelectric material. Suitable for imparting damping, yes. Paragraph 6. Is there an integrated circuit? Yes. Electronic circuit integrated, yes. Electronic, yes. Integrated, no, question mark. Electrically connected to flat piece, inherent, question mark. Frequency selective, passage of 30 to 80 hertz. See paragraph 8. Is it selective? So it seems that claim 5 is novel over A3 because of no frequency selective damping, and next we go to claim 6. So this is the method claim. Method of obtaining a sports article is inherent in claim in Annex 3. With damp torsion modes, yes, paragraph 6. Providing an elongate body, inherent, it's a snowboard. Core thickness varies with length, no, it's constant thickness. Providing a damper, yes, paragraph 6. Piezoelectric material plus electronic component for the damper is P27, paragraph 4, and electronic circuit, paragraph 6. Selecting damper position, yes, paragraph 6, paragraph 10, paragraph 11. Measuring the with the damper unmounted, yes, paragraph 10. Measuring the amplitude of the torsional mode of elongate body at several locations, yes, and mounting the damper at selected positions, yes, paragraph 11. So we can say that claim 6 is novel over A3 because of the constant thickness of the core. Let's now make an interim assessment of A3 before we turn to A4. Claim 1 is novel over A3. A3 discloses claims 2 features and claim 4 when it depends upon claim 2 features, but not claim 1. A3 may come in for inventive step of claim 2 and claim 4 when it depends on claim 2. Claim 5 is novel over A3. A3 may come in for inventive step. Claim 6 is novel over A3. A3 may come in for inventive step. So having briefly reviewed, we have to wait for the content of the remaining documents before we make up our minds. Nevertheless, coming up with an interim assessment does help to reduce the number of question marks as we go along. Let's now go to A4. We can see from A4's figure 1 that a schematic rider is standing on a sports board. That's the title of A4. The sports board is thicker under the rider's feet. Figure 2 illustrates the varying thickness along the sectional lines just beside the rider's foot. Now we turn to A4's description. Title is an ergonomic sports board. That's of interest. Paragraph 1, there is a need for sports board riding at higher speeds. That's of interest. Paragraph 2 shows an ergonomic sports board, for example, for contact with water. See figure 1. So it's not a snowboard. Paragraph 3, the curved upper surface provides improved ergonomics. Ergonomics, I think we've seen before, it's important. Paragraph 4, the core provides curved upper surface, and the core extends along the sports board. That's we need to know. Paragraph 5, figure 2 shows a section where the core is sandwiched. Paragraph 6, the curved upper surface is better adapted to anatomy and is more comfortable when ridden at higher speeds. Paragraph 7 is not important. Paragraph 8, we can improve the ergonomics of any stand-up sports article, and it gives the examples of surfboards and water skis, but obviously that includes also snowboards or ski boards. And the claim is a sports board with increased thickness at mounting section and decreased thickness outside. Now we turn to the claim in the matrix. Claim 1, priority sports article, yes. Elongate body, yes, figure 1. Core, yes, paragraph 4. Thickness varies along axis, yes, paragraph 5, and claim. Damper, no. Piezoelectric material, no. Electronic component with integrated circuit, no. So we go to claim 2. That's easy to see. Everywhere there is a no for all of the features. None of the features of claim 2 or claim 3 are present. It's all absent from A4. We go to claim 4. Again, P27 is absent from A4, so that is also simple to see. We go to claim 5. We note down claim 5. Is it a damper? No. Is it suitable for frequency? No. No, 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 no. Nothing from claim 5 is disclosed in A4. So that is an emphatic no. And then we turn to claim 6. Here we have a method of obtaining a sports article, no. With dampened torsion modes, no. Providing an elongate body, yes. With core thickness varies along its length, yes. And all of the remaining features are no, 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 no. So if we look now at the usefulness of document A4, A4 could be useful for inventive step as a secondary document evidencing that the thickness varies along the axis. And I put no other use, question mark. Could it be useful as closest prior art for inventive step of claim 1? I put a question mark, should be 2 question marks. Having briefly reviewed A4, we turn to A5, starting with A5's figures. It looks from figure 1 of A5 that the circuit which is shown in figure 2 is placed on the ski surface between the heel binding and the toe binding. We also notice that the ski thickness is slightly tapered towards its ends. And we notice from figure 2 that we have 3 elements, 83, whatever they may be, we will find out. They are connected in series, and we will see whether that is useful later on. Now we turn to A5's description. Title is Electronic System for Improving Control of Snow Skis. Paragraph 1, control of skis is reduced by chatter caused by unwanted longitudinal oscillation modes. Paragraph 2, ski with centrally mounted electronic system 80, figure 1. Paragraph 3, the core thickness varies along the ski. Paragraph 4, electronic system, monolithic platelets of piezoelectric material, figure 2. Paragraph 5, electronic system dampens unwanted oscillation mode. Paragraph 6, control circuit includes integrated circuit, could be attached to other types of sports equipment. such as a snowboard. Paragraph 7, microcontroller frequency selective to 10 to 25 Hz or a different frequency range. Paragraph 8, microcontroller part of integrated circuit may contain memory, and the claim is a ski for use on snow comprises electronic system with piezoelectric material coupled to the ski so as to flex. So now we turn to the claims. To see how Annex 5, which features of Annex 5 are known from the claims. Claim 1, sports article yes, a snow ski, paragraph 1. Elongate body yes, paragraph 2, figure 1. Core yes, paragraph 3. Thickness varies along axis yes, paragraph 3. Damper yes, paragraph 3. What dampens is a damper. Piezoelectric material, yes, paragraph 4, claim. Electronic component, integrated circuit, yes, integrated circuit 2006. So it looks like claim 1 lacks novelty also over Annex 5. Now we go to claim 2. Unidirectional snowboard, no. Damper, yes. At least one flat piece, yes. Arranged to dampen, no. Claim 3, freestyle snowboard, no. Damper, yes. Compositive matrix, no. Plus piezoelectric fibers, no fibers. Then we go to claim 4. The feature P27 is not disclosed in A5, so claim 4 feature is not disclosed. Then we go to claim 5. Claim 5 is to the damper. Is it a damper? Yes. Paragraph 5 talks about damping, therefore it's a damper. Is it suitable for frequency selective damping of sports article? Yes. Paragraph 7, frequency selective for snow skis. First flat piece of piezoelectric material. Yes. Monolithic platelet. Paragraph 4. Suitable for sensing oscillation modes, question mark, see paragraph 5 and paragraph 6. Second flat piece of piezoelectric material, yes, paragraph 4, figure 2. Suitable for imparting damping, yes, paragraph 5. Integrated circuit, yes, paragraph 6. Electrically connected to flat piece, yes, paragraph 6, figure 2. Frequency selective 30 to 80 Hz, no. It's 10 to 25 Hz or a different frequency range. So most features of Claim 5 are disclosed in A5, except the frequency selective 30 to 80 Hz. Next, as we proceed down the claims, we compare A5 with Claim 6. Method of obtaining sports article. Yes, question mark. With dampened torsion modes, no. Damps oscillation. Providing elongate body, yes. Core thickness varies, yes. Providing damper, yes. A piezo material plus electronic component, yes. And then selecting the damper position and the measurement of the amplitude and the mounting is all no, 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 no. So A5 does not look too promising for A6. Now we've covered all claims, we'll make an interim assessment of A5 before we turn to A6. A5 is useful for lack of novelty of Claim 1. A5 could be closest prior art for lack of inventive step of Claim 2. Differentiating feature is under unidirectional snowboard and damping torsional modes. A5 could be the closest prior art for lack of inventive step of Claim 5. The differentiating feature would be the frequency selective damping and the range. So Let's go to A6, starting with its figure. You can see a golf club on the right. From figure 1, it looks like fibers are cut off the block, fibers 110, and then the fibers are mounted somehow on a support, and then they are somehow treated by heating or some process. And figure 2 shows a golf club, which is a sports article with an elongated tapered shaft. Now D6's description. Title: Flexible piezoelectric films. Paragraph 1. Crystalline piezoelectric material is known for dampers and is brittle. Paragraph 2 presents flexible piezoelectric film. Paragraph 3. Figure 1 method shows piezoelectric fibers embedded in a polymeric resin and cured. Paragraph 4. There's nothing in paragraph 4. We go to paragraph 5, which has a golf club with dampers of flexible piezoelectric film. And the shaft 92 is a tube with a core filled with suitable material. The shaft tapers. Paragraph 6. Dampers comprise flexible piezoelectric material that dampens vibration. Paragraph 7. The piezoelectric film embeds circuitry with integrated circuit to provide a passband filter. Paragraph 8. Dampers for sports other than golf, including snowboards. Paragraph 9. Flexible piezoelectric films may be used instead of multiple wire-connected monolithic platelets. And the claim states that there is a method of making flexible piezoelectric film by embedded the fibers in a resin. Now we turn to the matrix. Claim 1. Is it a sports article? Yes, a golf club. Also snowboard in paragraph 8. Elongate body? Yes, paragraph 5, figure 2. Does it have a core? Yes, paragraph 5. Does its thickness vary along the length? Yes, paragraph 5. Does it have a damper? Yes, paragraph 5, paragraph 6, etc. Does it have piezoelectric material? Yes, paragraph 2, 3, and 5. And does it have an electronic component or integrated circuit? Yes, paragraph 7. So it looks as though claim 1 lacks novelty also over Annex 6, and we will look at claim 2. Unidirectional snowboard? No. The features of claim 2 are not present. Claim 3, freestyle snowboard? No. It mentions a snowboard in paragraph 8. Damper? Question mark. Piezoelectric fibers? Yes. In claim. Yeah, it's sort of difficult because it seems as though there is a disclosure of the matrix and the piezoelectric fibers. So I've put a question mark there, but that's something I will check later. And then we go to claim 4. The feature of claim 4 P27 is not present in Annex 6. We go to claim 5. Damper? Yes, paragraph 1, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Suitable for frequency damping, selective damping of sports article. Question mark, passband filter, paragraph 7. First flat piece of piezoelectric material, yes, paragraph 9. Suitable for sensing oscillation modes, question mark, or blank. Second flat piece of piezoelectric material, yes, paragraph 9. Suitable for imparting damping, yes, damper, paragraph 7. Integrated circuit, yes, paragraph 7 and paragraph 9. Electrically connected to flat pieces, yes, paragraph 9. Frequency selective 30 to 80 hertz, no. There's passband filter, paragraph 7. So claim 5 is novel over A6, at least because of the frequency selective range. Now we go to claim 6. Method for obtaining a sports article, yes. With dampened torsion modes, yes, damped vibrations. Providing elongate body, yes, the elongated shaft, paragraph 5. Core thickness varies along the length, yes, paragraph 5. Providing a damper, yes. Piezo material plus electronic component, yes, piezo plus paragraph 7 integrated circuit. Selecting damper position, no. Measuring the damper unmounted, no. Measuring the amplitude of torsional mode of elongate body at several locations, no. And mounting the damper at selected position, no. So claim 6 is clearly novel over Annex 6. Let's make an assessment of Annex 6's usefulness at this stage. Annex 6 is useful for lack of novelty of Claim 1, Article 54.3. Annex 6 is not useful for lack of novelty of Claim 2, Claim 4.2, or Claim 5. Annex 6 may be useful for lack of inventive step of Claim 3 or Claim 6. So having reviewed A6, it's time to proceed to detailed planning by scanning the matrix horizontally, claim by claim. Note that what we have been doing, the systematic reviewing of the documents before we go on to the next, is really useful to help to keep a clear head as you proceed, or keep your head as clear as possible as you proceed in inputting new facts. And it's also a springboard for the future of planning of the attacks. This now completes the assimilation and organization of information. Planning is to be continued in part 2 of the tutorial. Once your matrix has been filled up and you are ready to proceed with planning, The idea of planning is to convert the organized information into a series of potential attacks against each claim. You can do this by a horizontal scan of the matrix, claim by claim. Planning is the subject of part 2 of the tutorial. Before you go ahead with planning, you may find it convenient to check that your matrix is complete. Note that the assimilation of information from the documents A2 to A6 is very intensive, so you may possibly have a short break before going ahead. And before we go ahead, I'd like to give you a few tips about managing the matrix. The matrix is a personal working paper for organizing information and planning your attacks. In the exam, do not hand your matrix in to the examiners. You get no credit for it whatsoever. Do not try and make a matrix for the first time on the day of the exam. You have to have some practice. I recommend that you should practice different formats of matrix until you find one that is suitable for you. You can make your matrix, as I've mentioned, on an A3 sheet, 2 A4 sheets stuck together. The matrix does not have to be neat, it simply has to be understandable for you. You could try making a matrix freehand, drawing lines by hand to fit the configuration of the claims and the documents. If a document A2 to A6 has 2 distinct embodiments, divide its column into 2 columns to keep the embodiments separate. If an opposed claim has two separate embodiments or two separate claim dependencies, keep the claims separate in the matrix, or keep the partial claims separate in the matrix. I would advise you to keep your matrix as simple as possible. The more elaborate you make your matrix, the more likely it is you won't finish in time. Do not overload the matrix with information from the annexed documents. Make a simple indication in the matrix, yes or no or paragraph number, and make your notes on the document adjacent to the given paragraph. Use the documents for making your notes, not the matrix for importing information from the documents. Note that no time or no extra time is allowed for making the matrix, nor do you need extra time for making the matrix. The time for setting up the matrix is part of your time for understanding the claims. The time for filling the matrix is part of your time for reading and understanding the documents. So spend your time studying the documents, not on elaborating the matrix to make it look nice. So, here now are my closing words. This is the end of the part 1 of our tutorial on the opposition paper C. Please would you continue the exercise with part 2 of the tutorial, planning. I wish you good luck. A bientôt.